Today on Israel Hayom Insider, people lived in the Americas for around 17,000 years before Columbus arrived in 1492. But evidence suggests that there were earlier contacts with the Vikings, perhaps the Chinese, and maybe even the ancient Hebrews. In this episode of Israel Hayom Insider, we look at the surprising and still evolving relationship between Native Americans and the Jewish people. With me in the studio, Chief Joseph RiverWind, the acting principal chief, and Laralyn RiverWind, the tribal spokesperson of the Northern Arawak Taino Tribal Nation.
Great.
How are you today?
Good.
Good. Thank you for having us here.
I want you to start in. Tell me a little bit about your background. You've got a really interesting background, combining Jewish and Native American traditions.
Absolutely. Wakebaba Turei Toka, Guamikeni, Daka Mahura, Waribo Kasike Hagwan.
Okay, how about in English?
Okay. That's a traditional way of beginning a conversation. My name is Chief Joseph of the Arawak Taino Nation, Jaguar clan. And I also have Sephardic Jewish heritage as well.
Okay.
And my people, I'm descended from the Cherokee, the Eastern Band, and my father's side was Bird Clan from Rattlesnake Mountain. And
where is that?
That's on the Cherokee Reservation. It's not actually a reservation, it's Qualla Boundary in Cherokee, North Carolina. And also I have Muskogee Creek heritage, and my fire sits at Weesabolga, is what we would say.
And as you were exploring your ancestry and your customs and traditions, I think you found some interesting commonalities between Jewish and Native American customs. Can you tell me about that?
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned Christopher Columbus. He didn't discover anything. My tribe was the one who discovered him wandering lost in the ocean.
Right.
And 1492 is when the Sepharad, the Sephardic Jews, were kicked out of Spain. Interestingly enough, it was the 9th of Av when Columbus left, and on the 9th of Av he sighted our land. So a lot of the Latin, Spanish-conquered countries have a large population of Sephardic and Native American mixtures there. And as we started studying and researching a lot of our traditions, now this isn't all tribes, we don't speak for every tribal nation, but we found similarities in our linguistics. We have Hebrew words in our language, celebrations of new moon festivals.
My people have many things in common as far as the traditions and sacred things concerning, for example, there was a celebration of new moon. There was a 7th day of rest. We didn't eat swine. There were cities of refuge. We celebrated 7 sacred feasts during the year. And so there were many commonalities that we found seemed very similar. And this is chronicled in by a man in the 1700s named James Adair. You can read about it in a book called Out of the Flame.
He was one of many. And there was a man by the name of Rabbi Manasseh Ben-Ezra back in about 200-300 years ago, who also believed that there was a connection between the scattering of the tribes and the First Nations people.
So the theory would be that when the 10 lost tribes were scattered, some of them ended up coming to America? Is that the idea?
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. Like I said, there's so many things in the traditions, the customs, the spirituality, that just go beyond coincidence.
For example, my people's traditional name, the Cherokee's traditional name for ourselves is Anikaduaya, which means the principal people of Yah.
And the Cheyenne tribe in the Americas called themselves Tsitzitsa, which means people of the fringes.
Really?
And their cousin tribes, the Shoshone, whose symbol is a rose, we find Shoshana, which is a rose.
Now you've brought with you some traditional instruments. I hope you'll be able to sing for us at the end of the video. You guys, I know, are nationally acclaimed and award-winning musicians. So we're looking forward to that.
We'd be happy to.
Thank you. Now you were recently at Standing Rock, right? At the protests against the Dakota Access Pipeline. Tell me about that experience. I know you found some Palestinian influence there, or some Arab influence. What's going on there? What's that about?
Well, we went there. They put a call out for the veterans. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and after seeing what was taking place and what the media was not reporting about, the tear gas and the canisters and just horrible abuses by the police. So we decided to go. It was sub-freezing weather, -30 degrees. And one of the first things we saw coming into the camp was a banner from Palestinians saying, you know, we support you and all these things. And what we found and experienced in the Americas is there is a lot of propaganda that's being put out there by the Palestinians. And, you know, we don't fault the people for it. It's just the agenda of the politicos who are in control.
And we desire to make increased and better relations between Israel and the First Nations people of America and Canada. And at Standing Rock, we do desire that we have freedom from Arab-supplied energies, but we know that there are technologies out there that can be alternative sources of energy. And it doesn't need to go through native land. There's very little native land that's left. Most of it is government and privately owned by U.S. citizens.
Now, I understand this is your first trip to Israel, and you'll be volunteering on an army base, right? What motivated you to do that?
Well, when I was in the service before and I was in the air defense.
In the United States Army?
In the United States
or
Army.
the Air Force?
It was United States Army in the air defense. And one of the projects that I worked on was experimentation and research for the military of the future. And that included the Sentinel radar system, which we were briefed on that was part of the experimentation technology that eventually became the Iron Dome.
Oh, really?
So having worked with the IDF there, I was like, we have to be able to just volunteer here in Israel with the IDF forces as a way of just giving back and also reconnecting with that part of my heritage here.
Fantastic.
And the thing that I love about it is that it's an Israeli defense force. Unlike any other army or military force in the world, it's only to defend Israel and her borders. It's not an aggressive military. And that's what we stand for. We stand with Israel, and we love being a part of that.
I want to thank you very much for coming into the studio and talking about your background and for the song that you're about to sing. And I want to thank the viewers for continuing to watch us. Sign up for our newsletter. You'll get all the latest news on Israel every day to your inbox. And we'll see you next time.
It is an honor and blessing for us to be able to sing this song to bless the people of Israel.
We love this song.